please put your phones on silent and take a mental break to focus on driving. Paid for by Nitsa. Progressive Insurance knows pets, man. One of the biggest differences between people and pets is
What's up? What's up? Oh, I got my radio on still.
but dogs definitely will.
End up getting some music playing, get in trouble. And I can't read the comments until I change glasses. So, what's up? Whoever's in here saying what's up. I don't figure there's any point in making a review video for Klein safety glasses after watching Doc's review video, because I don't think anybody could make one better and more sophisticated than Last Best Tools. Because I was just sitting there thinking, what would you even do in a video for safety glasses other than put them on your face? And then here he is getting out some kind of UV light beads. What's up, Asher? What's up, Clint, TPG, Tom, Denny O'Fools, Roy Phipps has got the pinto beans, cornbread, and greens going. Nice. I love pinto beans and cornbread. Hard to sell $50 a pair. Well, the regular ones are only $20 a pair, I guess. The polarized ones, I think, are $50 if I remember right. I just now went and looked them up, actually. I didn't look up to see how much they were. They are a lot like thicker, I would guess would be the term to use than a lot of them that I've got. Because I've got like an old pair of Klein ones right here. I think these are the ones they gave me when I went to Klein and I had to wear them out on the floor. I think these are what I wore out on the floor. But that's the problem for me now is like, now that I wear glasses, which these actually, I think if I went and got my newer glasses, these are a little bit bigger than my old glasses, like this way. But these are big enough that you can almost like wear them over your glasses and still kind of maybe use them. Like I can't see like wearing stuff without my glasses, so my prescription glasses have to be my safety glasses. What Veto bag you thinking of getting this year? As of right now, none. None of the ones that like I would even think about getting just to get the CBLD for free are all out of stock, and you can't get them, or they're the Evo or something like that, just because the tiers. Now, if some of those middle ones like the SB or SPLD or some of those were in that tier 1, I'd probably go ahead and get one and then get the free bag. But there's just not very many of them in the tier 1. There's not very many bags, and definitely not very many bags are available that I'm wanting to get right now. So we'll see. I thought the Terminator was joining us. They are actually really nice sunglasses. I put them on. We actually had a sunny day, and I put them on and went outside. Like, as far as the sunglass aspect of it, I mean, they're huge, obviously. They're probably not. They kind of remind me, like, Coolin with Kraus there for a little while was wearing sunglasses like that whenever he was driving around in his van. I don't remember what kind it was he was wearing, but they're definitely like snowboarder lookish. But, I mean, I guess the more of your face that's getting covered up, the safer it is, I guess. I can't see without my prescription glasses on. I guess I should maybe get myself some prescription safety glasses, but I chance it most of the time. Lexi was wondering if they went over existing glasses. I wish I'd have brought because I think my smaller ones would be a little better, because these are hitting, what did I just do with those? These are hitting like right at like the thickness, the size of this. Like I said, my older glasses before I just got these were a little bit skinnier, and I bet it'd be a lot better. So you probably, I mean, you got a little bit of a gap for sure. And it's kind of weird getting all the earpieces kind of lined up. but you end up having a gap. Like, but your regular glasses, my regular glasses are probably just as close right there. So it does add the sides a little bit past my glasses, but not all the way like a side shield. Now we get to see behind the scenes. We are not unimpressed. Yeah. So that's I hooked up one. I got a camera system from Onwote. I think Onwote. I've still got to install it, but I did install this camera. I installed one camera, and I hooked it up just to see how it worked before I filmed the rest of it, because I thought I might use the footage of this camera. Miss Maintenance will be in here helping me pull wire, so I'm still gonna set up a camera just in case that footage isn't very good, but it gives me an opportunity to record footage on that and then put it into the video and kind of show it in use type of thing. It's Inception. You get to watch the background go. But now you at least know I'm wearing pants. What's up, Ryan? And I'm kind of leaving it on right now because I've got it hooked up to my internet, and I'm curious to see if it causes any kind of, which I only got one camera right now, but I don't think that I don't think it necessarily sends anything through the internet unless you specifically, like, I can get on my phone and get to it, but I don't think it's like constantly right now loading up anything to the internet, so I don't think it would slow it down any. Was your boy impressed with this new tool bag? I don't know. He hadn't said anything about it. He did take it, but I hadn't. He's been working. I haven't seen him a lot in the last couple of days, so he did take it off. I set it on the bar inside, and it's not there. But Miss Maintenance may have moved it. He may not even got it yet. We're supposed to be. I think he's supposed to close on the place he's buying on Tuesday, so he's still here right now. What's the pink box behind you? Pink box. This box, it's like a purpley box. So I asked y'all, I made a post about a digital torque, like ratchet, adjustable head ratchet for installing a mini split, because Tosote has sent me another mini split with the ERV on it that I'm going to install in the guy's garage that helped me build my garage. And this was one tool I didn't have whenever I did mine, because I thought I'll just use a crow's foot and my click wrenches, because I already had all that. I was like, well, I don't really want to buy one of those because I probably wouldn't use it very often. But in using that, I didn't really like the way that it felt. Like I was getting it, but it just felt like I was putting on way more than what it should have felt like to me, just by filling things usually. So I decided I was going to get a digital one just for that. This one is Move Crab. And so the Hillmore was $199. I thought about getting that one. There was like a black line, Black Hawk, black something. There was it was another name brand like at True Tech Tools and stuff like that, that was right around the same price. And then there was a Yellow Jacket one that I thought about getting. But then this one was normal price, like $130 or $140 or something like that. But they had one that was used like new on sale for $90. And this one comes with the adjustable head, and then also a 3/8 like socket, so I can use it as a digital socket thing, which I do like that, because I don't have a digital torque wrench like this. All I've got some like Pittsburgh click ones. So I haven't checked it yet. I mean, it's been certificate and calibrated and all that, so I'm gonna check it with, like, I'm gonna check the torque on something and then put this on there and see if it's kind of similar. But for like I said, I think I got it for $90. So I thought I'd give it a try, because it's not something I'm gonna use. Like, it'd be different if I was a HV mini split installer, like that was my job, or I even did anything really torquing stuff to the degree with using that like a mechanic or something, I'd spend top dollar and get myself whatever one it was, which I was going to, because I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and get one. I'm sure I'll find some other uses for it, but that one kind of presented itself as a deal, used like new, which it came in the box just like it was new, like all the paperwork was in it and everything else. So be curious to see how it works. But that one, for one, the adjustable, I won't have the whole crow's foot set up and stuff on mine. But then that one's also going to give you that readout and beep at you instead of having to feel like you got to get that click. Abraham got the one Project Farm recommended. Which one was that they recommended? What's up, Silent Gamer? I should wear safety glasses more. You ever been to the eye doctor to get a ceiling tile out of your eye? You agree? Yeah, which for the most part, my glasses in my work, I'm usually not doing a lot of flying stuff, debris. Now, back whenever I worked in factories, I would get matter of fact, I got metal in my eye one time and I had to go to the doctor and whole ordeal to get it out like a big sliver. Uh, but yeah, you get stuff in your eyes, it's a pain. But most of the time that I've even got stuff in my eye still wearing safety glasses. If it's stuff from overhead, it just seems like it always falls in the right spot and still gets in there. Lost sound, might need to reboot. Me, I lost sound. Or just you, TPG. Everybody else hear me? Pants, my life is ruined. In my mind, still pantless. Those look like Reolink cameras. Installed them at many clients. They are solid cameras. Oldest client has had them running for 7 years, going strong. Yeah. So again, I had mentioned that I was going to put in a camera system, which I use Wi-Fi camera. Like I got different cameras around my house and my property and everything else, anyways. And I was just going to get some more of those, but then I've got to run power to the places where I want to put them. So one, that's expensive, running electric and stuff. And then the thing about those is it's 100% reliant upon Wi-Fi in a sense. Like if you don't, unless you put, you can put SD cards in them and be recording, and it doesn't have to be Wi-Fi. But actually, I don't know. They kind of still go offline. So this one's a PoE system, and I just have to run the Ethernet cable to the places instead of running power. And then it's also like recording to a unit all the time, whether you have internet. So if the internet goes down, you still have recording going on, all that kind of stuff. So I thought it might be a little bit better system. And plus, they emailed me and said, we saw that you were talking about camera systems. I was like, heck yeah, you can send me one. Steal side shields off a set of regular ones. That's probably what I need to do, because I've actually got 2 or 3 pairs of glasses now that's they're all a little bit different prescription, but not drastically different. Like I can still wear the very first pair of glasses I got and still see fairly decent. I probably need to just change like a old pair of my prescription glasses into a pair of safety glasses. What's up, Steve? So his son taking the cat? Yeah, he's taking the cat that's with us right now. Have you had a chance, Fake Property said, to really use those 7-Eleven tools yet? I've been using the little lollipop driver. I put that in my MP2 pouch. So I've been getting it out, just playing with it on certain stuff that I'm doing. For the most part, that's pretty much it that I've been using the most. What was the very first tool that I got from them? I know I got the ratchet with the lollipop driver, but what was the first thing that I got? I already forgot now. Because I've used it some too, and now I can't even think of what it is. Usually, whenever I get tools like that, I try to go ahead and put them in my pouch and purposely use them for a couple weeks. Coffee went down the wrong pipe. Appreciate that, vegan. What was the first 7-Eleven tool that I got? Let me scroll down and see if y'all are telling me. That's gonna bug me to death. I put it in my tool bag, whatever it was. It's in my SPMC, but I can't remember what it is now. I haven't used it as much because it's not like a tool I would use as much. So that's why I can't remember what it is. Inline ratchet. Oh yeah, inline ratchet. That's in my. I actually got that up there in my van bag that Steve's Woodshop gave me. As my, I've been grabbing it as my, if I'm just taking a screwdriver in somewhere and just using it, but I still haven't used it as much because I don't keep that one in my pouch. But I have been using the little lollipop driver for this week. Rust from a gutter getting your eye. I watched the vid about the Strauss vest. You still like it? I wore it today. So today I was me and my buddy have been working at a house that a guy bought. It's going to be a rental house, but had a bad water leak under the vanity cabinet. So, and it also had been doing it while nobody lived there for a while. And it had kind of made the floor right in the doorway of the master bedroom and the master bathroom, you could tell was just sunk like so we had to pull back the floor in the master bedroom. It was like a click lock wood floor. Pull it back, and then the bathroom had ceramic tile, but whoever tiled it did hardy board, just screwed it to the subfloor, and then did thin set and then tile. And they only put like 6 screws per sheet inside the sheets, but the whole tile floor was just bouncing up and down where water had got under it and kind of broke everything loose. So we ended up having to pull the whole floor. He originally wanted us to just kind of try to take out the first couple tiles and see if we could fix it, but that wasn't a thing. So replaced all that subfloor, and then I had to tear out the vanity cabinet and basically did the same exact thing that I did in my vanity cabinet video, but and same exact thing, just a different vanity. I tried to not use as many screws this time since it tore some people up, but while we were over there doing work, he was talking about the lighting in the living room, and I told him, I said, well, I could add 4 can lights. Your fan up there has a light to a switch into the light, and I could tie it in with the, lights so that you could turn them on and off or whatever. But long story short, yeah, I worked today in the attic going around. I just cut the hose and ran the wire today. I'm gonna do all the hooking up tomorrow. But having that in the attic, especially the little flap with the pouch, because I really only needed 2 tools today since I was just running wire. I basically took my M12 Romex stapler and a pair of diagonals and a flathead screwdriver. I put the flathead screwdriver and the diagonals in the little pocket with the flap. That way I didn't have to worry about them falling out of the vest and into the, because it was blown in insulation, this deep. And it was pretty nice, like just having that. And then I had extra staples in the top pocket with the flap so that they didn't fall out. So it worked out pretty good for that. Get a UPS and put it on the recorder, protect it from voltage spikes. Yeah, I was already thinking about getting something which I've got it. I basically, did I show this? I think I showed this wall over on the last live. I don't know if I did or not, but so the wall with the window, a little magnet's about as far as it's gonna go, broke off. So this wall had that window, and I had my file cabinet here, and then I didn't have anything because I had that window. So basically, I only had the shelves over there, and I had the shelves over here, which I did have a shelf up here that was the height of those over there, but I took that out because whenever I installed the mini split, that was going to be in the way. But basically, I just left this little section here and ran a circuit there. That's the only thing that's on that circuit. It's just one plug, because I think I might also put all my chargers and stuff over here. I might, to hide all these cables and stuff, I might, do something here to where you can't even see in this. And then I just went ahead and put another shelf here because it just gives me another spot to stick some stuff in that area. But I ran a 2-inch conduit, I've got it elbowed and going up to my roof of this building so that I got all my cables coming out up there, and that way it's easy for me to fish stuff back and forth. And then I run a HDMI cable from here through a spot over to my TV over here. Hopefully y'all could see all that. I don't know how far over I was, but so I had to run an HDMI cable and come down the wall and then put it over in that. At some point though, I am going to have to, so I put the camera that's on that TV right now is up there. And all this, basically whenever I did this building at first, I just put this white plastic up everywhere as my walls, like, because I didn't really care what it necessarily looked like. And at the time it was too expensive to buy plywood. It was like right whenever the time was, like, I can't remember, it was hurricanes, COVID, I don't remember what it was, but plywood was crazy. That's why I ended up doing pickets, because it was a lot cheaper. But all that plastic, like in certain areas, like I think it's because I was getting water in over there by the front. That's another reason why I put that porch and all that kind of stuff on and needed a new roof. You just touch that plastic and it just explodes. Like, it's 6 mil plastic, but it's like something's happened to it. So I had to, as soon as I went over and started putting that camera in, that whole plastic started exploding. But my long-term plan is, once I get rid of the kayaks and all that stuff that's up there, I've got some like wood that I had to put up there to hang those by. I think I'm gonna do so. I'm gonna basically finish covering all the rest of everywhere where there's white plastic. I'm gonna put up a new ceiling, and that way I can put new lights in here. Because right now I basically just have lights around the outside and one right there in the middle, but the kayaks block half of that. And that's why I get a lot of like shadows and stuff like in here. So I've been wanting to redo the lighting anyway. So once I get the kayaks out of here and everything else done, I'll probably do something on this ceiling. But I've already got 2-foot centers. I've basically ran 2x4s across the metal poles that were in here for the carport. So those are already there. So basically, as long as I find something that I can hit on those 2-foot centers, and even if I need to, I can run a like batten strip kind of over top of seams or something if I use some kind of sheathing. But then that will at least let me, because I didn't have a lot of electrical run up in there whenever I did it. I wasn't making YouTube videos. I didn't really need a lot of lighting. I was just coming in and out of here. And but now it's pretty hard for me to run electric because I have to tear up the plastic and it's not really fixable. So of course now I can get up on the roof and run stuff too. J.Inc. is they're consistent on the best Veto spring promo deal. I definitely don't need an MB2 B. So I would want to get something that was tier 1 for myself, but the problem is like I said, most of the bags aren't in stock. The ones that, I'd want to get. Backer board says 12-inch space and takes a ton of screws. Yeah, it's even got which I don't like the Hardy backer anyways. I like the Durarock stuff or whatever it is. But they usually got X's on them. But see, he's using this for a rental house, so we ended up having to take up the whole tile floor, and we talked him into putting down, some of that thicker sheet vinyl. And then that way we just went in there, fixed the subfloor. We put sure ply down on top of it, stapled that down, and did everything. Well, we had to level stuff out and do a bunch of stuff, and then we got that installed today. But that's a ton of labor savings on that, compared to doing a tile floor. And in most cases, people don't take care of tile floors. They don't clean the grout. 2 strong vanity bases in Kentucky. Yeah, this one was actually, the bottom of this one's actually got 3/4 Advantech for the, because I had to buy a sheet of 3/4 Advantech to fix the subfloor, and I had enough left over to use it for the vanity base subfloor. So this one's actually even built a little bit stouter. wild watching the TV behind you. Looks like you're talking to someone in the chair. That's you guys right there. You all are in that chair. Panel the ceiling for sure. Yeah, I've been wanting to actually do that for a long time, but it's just something where, like I said, it's way on down the line. Like it's the last thing on my list, but I'll be glad to get the lighting better in here because basically there's no lights ever for the lives that shine like on me. Like it's all dark over there. Like so everything's kind of behind me or directly above me, casting a shadow on my face. Um, but like I said, it's plenty to see in here. Like I have no problem seeing like to work out of it. It's just for the video aspect. But I think I'm just going to buy another 10-pack of the same lights I put in there and run because they're basically the same length of this building. Two of them together is pretty close to the same length, and I'll just do 2 rows on each side and one right down the middle. First strip it out. Yeah, mist maintenance actually. I put in a wood ceiling in our house in the main areas like living room, kitchen, dining room. It's all kind of tied together in a hallway. It's a Armstrong ceiling. It's pre-finished. It's they actually make it now to where you can install it on a grid. Like if you have a grid ceiling, you don't want to put tiles in, you can install this. But all you had to do was fur out like your ceiling, and then you could install it right on there. It comes with some clips and stuff like that. You don't nail it, but it's really easy to install. And she's been wanting to change. We bought it, and at the time we got it. It's kind of dark, and it makes the house dark. And she's wanted to paint it white, but I didn't really want to paint it. So she's like, well, maybe we could take this down and get white, and then you can put that out there in your building. But that sounds like a lot of work. You do actually need the plastic now that you have a large structure covering the garage. Do I need it? No. I only really put it in. This white plastic was more so just for a cheap finish at the time. I basically took 6 mil plastic and started at the bottom of the wall and just went up and used those green nails and just stapled it to basically just be my walls because I've got like the blue foam board between all the metal poles of the carport as insulation, and then I just did this just to give it a little bit of a finished look. Because again, at the time I wasn't making YouTube videos and I was just coming in and out of here, and I just wanted it to look like uniform type of thing. And then after I did that over time on the walls, I kept bumping stuff into it and it would cut a slit and I'd have to put a piece of tape on it. And I was just like, I got to put something up on the walls that's like I can push stuff against on shelves and don't have to worry about poking holes in it and all that kind of stuff. So again, I wanted to do plywood, but ultimately I kind of like the pickets better because that's like right now, if I want to run, power to here, I can just come and I've just got these pickets nailed on, with a finish nailer. I can come and pry these pickets off, run whatever I want to, and then just nail them right back up there. So it's actually, to me, it's a little bit better than, or more adaptable than plywood if you put it up. Not quite as like uniform looking, but it actually works out pretty good because there's been a few times where I've run some stuff and I just take down the few pieces that I need to get behind it. Use dark grout. LVT is good for rentals too. They have shower rated ones. Grout is always bone. I want to say that's the grout. Yeah, because the hall bathroom at that house needed to be regrouted, so we went in there and cleaned the worst of it out, and then I think it is bone because I bought the caulk, and I think it was bone what was in there. But Denny said use dark grout. You're better off if it's like you're not going to be the one upkeeping it type thing. They have tongue and groove millennial gray boards. Get some custom made Tyvek. I need to get some of that truss core stuff that I'm not high enough in the food chain to get truss core. Maybe if I keep saying truss core over and over again. What's up, Terry Burton? Yeah, so I never personally ever use like sunglass safety glasses either, because I'm never working outside whenever I'm wearing them for the most part. But they've got regular ones that are like $20, and I think these, like Matt said, were 50. But they also have I think they've got a sunglass pair for $20, like this, that's $20. It's the same ratings and everything as this. It's not polarized or something like that. I think I saw that whenever I was looking for these two. I only saw them on Acme Tools, and then I did just see them on Amazon before I came out here. But I don't. Do y'all wear like a lot of sunglass safety glasses? I guess it probably depends on it. I mean, I don't work outside that much, so I guess that's why I don't think about it. You don't need vinyl siding in your ceiling. Now, I'm probably going to do, just because my spacing of my stuff is a little bit, and I'll probably have to add some blocking and stuff like that too. But I kind of want to do something where, like, if I can put up probably like sheathing and screw it, and then cover the seams with screws again. That way, if I want to get up in that ceiling to run something, it'd be a little bit easier. But if it's furred out, usually it's pretty easy to fish stuff if you have it like different levels of furring, which right now it's furred out right now, and then the insulation board's above that. So I've got channels in each one of those already. That's 1.5 inches. But even if I did another furring strip below that, then I'd have even another way to do it to where I probably wouldn't have to ever take it down anyways. I could just run fish sticks and stuff and run wire for something specific if I wanted a light in a certain spot or something like that. But like I said, my main goal is, the next thing is go open up that side and get that going so that I can start storing stuff. I need that more than anything. And then I'll finish out. I've been waiting to finish out the other area, that wall, until I get done with all this stuff, until I get done with that side in case I need to run something in that chase. And then also I want to wait until it gets warm enough that I'm running the air conditioner in here just to make sure everything's good on that mini split, which I've been running the dehumidifier, not the heat, the last few days. And it's actually like, it cools it in here as it's, you can set it as a dehumidifier and select a percentage that you want to keep it at instead of running the air conditioner. That way, like if you're running the air conditioner but the temperature gets hit before the humidity gets out, then it would quit, versus you can set a percentage. But it was actually like running the air conditioner as the dehumidifier, and I could tell it was cold in here. Like it was like colder in here than it was outside for sure. And it was not that warm outside. Whereas my old dehumidifier was just one that I set in here and went and dumped, but it actually put heat out into the room because it was doing all the exhaust out into the room. Say truss core 3 times. I wear transition lenses from Milwaukee, clip-ons when I need sunglasses. Yeah, I actually bought a pair of clip-on sunglasses for my prescription glasses last summer when we went somewhere. We were somewhere and I found a pair at Walmart that like fit my glasses like it was made for them. Not this pair, but my last pair. And because like I said, I've just gotten to where, used to, I could swap whenever I first got glasses. I could swap and wear sunglasses and I could still see fine. But now, over the last, I don't know how long I've been wearing glasses now, but I guess probably about 4 or 5 years. Now, if I don't have them on, I can't see anything up close. Like I'm good far away. Up close, you can forget it. Like I can't read my watch. I can't read anything. Gets pretty bright in the winter with the sun glare. Sunglasses help with that. You're going to be putting a railing on the set of steps going to the other part of your garage? Probably not. Not to say like never, but not anytime in the next little bit. I'm building by the Ron Swanson code here at Morgan's Maintenance. I do what I want. So the outside unit's okay. Yeah, I haven't had any. It hadn't done it again since that. I think it must have been something weird that morning because, like I said, it was really weird outside, really foggy, really cold, and I think something happened, and it hadn't defrosted or something yet, and it just like instantly froze my whole unit up outside. But it wasn't like it was like a thick coating, and the line set wasn't froze either. It was just like the outside coil, and I was like, "Oh man, you gotta be kidding me!" Because it's probably been like 3 months now, and I thought it must be like a pretty slow leak if it's that. And then, but ever since then, I just turned it off and let it thaw out, and ever since I turned it back on since then, it's not done it since. So I think it was just a weird one-time coincidence deal with whatever the conditions were outside. You can build to the UP of Michigan standard 12-inch on center for trusses or barns. Man, that house that I'm working in right now up in that attic, because we also were patching, there was a sheet of drywall in the living room that you could tell the whole sheet had like popped all the seam. We had to cut it out and redo that as far as the redo the seam. And we were looking for the studs and we found 24 inches and we thought, well, it's on 24-inch centers. What we'll do is we'll go up there and put some blocking in. That way we can screw it off a little bit more. Maybe it won't happen again or whatever. But then after I got up in the attic, I was like, well, these are on 12-inch centers. Like I have never seen a house in my area like on 12-inch centers. And this isn't really like a crazy house or anything like that. It's kind of like a, just stock builder house thing. So that's pretty weird that it was on 12-inch centers. I haven't seen that very often in my life. I mean, it's usually pretty good if somebody can go 16 most of the time. My barn in the back, um, it's like super old oak framing, and you can't hardly. I had some guys come put a shingle roof on it, and then they didn't do a good job, and they didn't take the shingles out enough, and they didn't put a drip edge on it, and all kinds of stuff. But it was just a barn. I had them come put a shingle roof on it, and they put sheathing on it first, and then a shingle roof because it had like a old rusty. Probably could have took that off and sold it for a bunch of money, like metal. And they were saying that every time they drove a nail, like they'd bend over like 5 nails for every one they finally got in. It's super old, like oak wood, really hard. Wear a trifocal, reading on bottom, far middle, and 3 feet in the middle. A lineman friend taught me that system. Yeah, mine are the progressive. Basically, it's like I guess like a trifocal, but just no lines in it. So I've got a like reader at the bottom basically, and then it's more far away in the middle, and then I guess it gets a little less even towards the top. My house's studs are like that, pain to put a nail in them. Look like a TV clerk with the TV, or store clerk with the TV behind me. Yeah, I told Amanda, I was like, I'm putting one in here. I'm gonna put one inside and the other one too. I said because it kind of like the times where I'm gonna see. I already downloaded the app just to see how it worked, like so that whenever I go to do the video, it's just whatever. But it almost gives me like an extra camera person. Like if you was doing like sometimes you lose footage sometimes, like if I'm assembling something in here or if I'm doing some work down there, it kind of gives you an extra camera person where you can just go back into that footage and download it and use it for videos. We'll have to see how good I mean, it looks pretty good on my TV, to be honest with you. So we'll have to see how good it looks like once you pull it off and use it. It's a pretty easy. I mean, it does a lot of stuff that I'm never going to do. I'm not going to go into it and kind of, it's pretty plug and play for somebody who doesn't want to mess with a lot of stuff. Like so far, like I said, I only hooked up this one camera because I planned on maybe using this footage to record Miss Maintenance standing over there helping me pull the wire. How many megapixels are the cameras? Let me see. I can't remember off the top of my head what the listing said. I don't know if it says it in here or not. I want to say 12. Don't say. Let me look. I know where it is on the. I can get on my tablet, maybe on Amazon. See if it says. $16 channel. Yeah, 12 megas. 6K, 12 megapixel. Oh no, hang on. Yeah, commercial NRB. 8 megapixel, 134 degree wired outdoor cameras, IP cameras. So 8 megapixel, I guess. The system can do up, like you can buy other cameras that they've got a bunch of different ones that do different stuff. It will do, I guess, up to a 12 megapixel, but the cameras I've got are all 8. Also recording if I croak. I might also catch something that, sometimes stuff happens like while you're working and you're like, that would be funny. Like if somebody else could have saw that and you never, so you'll have that going all the time. Like I said, I don't think it will actually, I hook it into my internet, but I could also unhook it. Like if I'm coming out here to do a live, if I feel like it's starting to like eat up, internet and stuff like that. But I don't think it actually uses the internet unless I go to get something off of it. Like it's not sending it to a cloud or something like that, which they might actually. I haven't read through them. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put it on the cloud and mess with all that stuff because I've got other cameras in here that's even separate from that. That's like my wireless ones that do send me stuff and all that kind of stuff that I already have in here that I'm not going to take down. I'm just going to leave them. Maybe no naked cats. Is there a minimum time on loadout? Reloaded videos. My setup has changed a lot since I submitted last time. No, basically, I mean, if you've got something different, Eddie, if it's different, it's different. Would it be okay if I shared my Instagram? Yeah, it don't matter to me. Anybody share anything they want to. Anyone got tricks to get window and door sealing foam off tools? If you go buy, I don't know if it works. Like I would assume it works on that, but man, if you buy this stuff here, this is the stuff I got. Now I don't think they sell it unless but you can maybe let's see if it shoots out if you. Oh, that's the foam. Hang on, not this. I about just got this all over me. Well, this would be a good time. I'll show you this though. Let me find my cleaner. Now I don't know what I did with my gun though. I'll have to find that. It might be over in my drawer. Oh, This stuff just eats it. Like, I'm gonna see my gun's in here. I don't remember what I did with my gun. I think I've got it over there somewhere. What did I do with my spray gun? I thought I would have left it over here. But I don't see it. I don't know if they sell this stuff in a can that's like doesn't have to be hooked up to the spray gun. There it is. There it is. This is the deal that I got at Lowe's, where I got this for it was backwards. You were supposed to get a free can of this if you bought the gun, but they had it set up where you got the gun for free online if you bought this. So I got this gun for like, you know, whatever the price of one of these cans is. But this stuff just eats. That's got a little bit of stuff in it. Let me find me a little bucket. It's halfway clean. I've been throwing stuff in buckets around here like crazy. I use one of these. See, y'all get to watch me. You all get to watch me walking around now. So, like, let's see. Y'all should be able to see right there. Right? No, not really. Let me turn this. Yeah. So, like, this stuff just eats. Like, let me see it. So I would think if you could get some of that, it would surely just eat it right off your tools. That's a long way to go around telling you that. But this is a way better. Like, if you ever find a deal on one of these and you ain't got one yet, and you do the spray foam stuff all the time, it's crazy better to have this system here. Get y'all moved back. Smells like fingernail polish though, or fingernail polish remover, which that may be what it is. You may try fingernail polish remover because it's exactly what it smells like. What is it, acetone or something like that? That may be all. That may be all that is acetone. I'd try that first. Eight megapixels, not bad. What are your thoughts on World War III being started because of Epstein and Israel? I don't get into any of that. I have no control over any of it, so it doesn't matter. Shouldn't mess with the internet as long as you're not viewing remotely. You can use Goof Off Pro, but it will tarnish the finish, and that may do something to it too. You might want to try it. You know, like I said, a small amount. And like I said, you might try. Smells just like fingernail polish remover. And TPG said isopropyl alcohol would dissolve most anything. Spray foam and super slick stuff. Need to try it. Man, I think I've told this story before, but I've told it to a lot of people, so I don't know if I've told it to y'all or not. But whenever I was in high school and I got my first car, I put some speakers in the trunk and an amp and all that kind of stuff, and my trunk would make a rattling noise like whenever it was just like thumping. So I thought, well, I'm gonna get spray foam. It's kind of whenever spray foam was first a thing. And I'm gonna fill in all the little voids in my trunk and all kinds of stuff and see if that makes it better. And I was just spraying that stuff. Like I said, I was in high school, I've never used it before. I just went and bought it. It wasn't like I even knew what it was for type of thing. And I was just taking my hands and smearing it all over the place. And it took me like a week to get that stuff off my hands. Most cameras that are going in now are either 4 megapixel or 8. 8's a good picture. Morgan, don't read out loud my comments about them boys. I didn't say anything about boys. Elliot's got the SBLDT coming. How's the Fireball hex key holder holding up? I'm thinking of getting the smaller one. My hex key holder's getting loose and keep falling out. I don't use them other than like they're just sitting here. So they're holding up fine for me, but like I just grab stuff out of them every now and then. But most of the time, to be honest with you, I end up grabbing, since the Milwaukee ones are just sitting inside the top of there, I don't even use these most of the time. Unless this one just so happens to have a size. It's mostly I'll grab one out of here if I'm tinkering with something right here and it needs an Allen key. But if I need Allen keys, like in the house or something, I grab my pack of Milwaukee ones just because it's a little bit more comfortable to hold than this. They're nice though for like a, desk, like a workbench area, I think. I wouldn't want to use these as like my take them with me everywhere on the job Allen keys. I think that one right there is more set up for a workbench, toolbox, something like that. Lance got the Tech MCTP. You mean this beauty? I can't believe Joey has that messy of a workbench. Yeah, I brought stuff in here. I got home a little later today, and then I was actually inside doing receipts and a bunch of other stuff. But I had to load up my miter saw. We got to do some baseboard and stuff like that tomorrow. And then I already ran all the wire and all that stuff. So I was basically doing an load my truck, and some of this stuff goes over there, and I've got a whole disaster over there from where I've just been pulling stuff out of my way to get to the spots where I'm doing work. I've been trying not to mess up this area so that hopefully one day I'll get to come home and have time to film putting these cameras in and doing that stuff to make the video. But it's one of them where I don't have time. Like today, I could have, but except for I knew we was going to do a live today, so then I can't, because then I wouldn't have had enough time to get done. Because it's pretty much after work one day. I've gotten slammed all of a sudden. Like there for like January and February was a little bit slower, and I was cool with that because I had a lot of stuff I was wanting to do here. But now it's like everything's boom. It's like I got a, y'all can probably see that in the video. So I got a sink, wall mount sink here for a customer. Oh, and then there's the faucet. Y'all can see that in the TV. Faucet. And then I think this is 11 or 12 door locks or something that I got to change out. That she ships stuff to my house because it's a commercial place, and they don't live, they like, it's not a place where they're like, if the owner of the building is not like in that building, it's just their building. And it's usually faster for her to ship stuff to me than it is to ship it to the store, so she always ships stuff here. But there's a bathroom in there where I guess basically somebody's moving into a space, and they must have some kind, I don't know who it is or anything yet, but they must do something to do with handicap, because we're putting in a push button automatic door opener on the main front door. And then upstairs, I've got to change all the locks over to levers because they don't have levers. And then that's a wall mount sink and a faucet, because right now there's a vanity cabinet in there with a sink and all that. So I got to tear that out, which is probably going to mean I'm going to have to probably redo floor. May end up, depends on how that sink is. I have to get out and look at it whenever I get there, what kind of like how it mounts. I may have to cut the wall open and put some blocking and stuff in. I may have to change the drain. You know, you don't know till you get into it. What's the pouch in the thumbnail? Pouch in the thumbnail. I don't know. I don't remember what the thumbnail had on it. I might can see it from my text thing. Let me see what it says. That the thumbnail is just another pack of another pair of glasses. So Klein's got these that are polarized with like the reflective stuff, polarized black. They've got a regular black too, and then these, but I think I was just holding these. What are those bit holders on the front side of the toolbox behind me? So these over here are the Easy Red. I've got a video for the Easy Red. So magnetic bit holders, also magnets back here that allow you to stick it on, you know, metal stuff. And you can also fold it over on itself and put a carabiner or something through those holes, or mount it if you want to, like put screws in the wall if you're putting it on wood or something. So that's the Easy Red. I actually bought that one, and then I've got a video for that one. These are same, exactly the same. That bit must not been in there. Been in there very good. This is Carlisle brand, and a buddy of mine has a friend who Napa just every now and then gives them tons of stuff, but they can't sell them. They have to either give them away or do whatever with them. And he gave me a bunch of these. So I got a bunch of blue ones that are Carlisle, but they're, I mean, they're identical. They got to be made at the same place. That's what this thing is too. I got it for free too. Little bucket thing that's Carlisle. But I've got one of these in my truck. I've got it, I took some double-sided tape. It was on my Milwaukee pack-out drawers, but whenever I swapped over to Klein, wasn't really a good spot to put it. So I put some double-sided tape and stuck it to my back glass up above where my vest is. I love them because it's just a real easy quick grab. I've got my door of my truck open if I'm working outside, especially, and I just need another bit. Usually I've got whatever it is in here, and I don't have to dig through a bunch of stuff. Yeah, so I'm hoping we finish it. Well, we won't finish because he doesn't have it, but we got to install a shower door. All I've got left at that house, got to install a shower door when he brings it. I've got to mortise out and install a new door to fit an existing opening. So I got to mortise the hinges, the lock set, all that kind of stuff for that bathroom, put it in. Thresholds, baseboard, and then I got to wire up all the lights that I drilled the holes in the ceiling, put the can lights in because it's got blown in insulation. So I just, anytime there's blown in insulation like that, I just go ahead and drill the holes down below, put the actual like can part in real fast, and then I just do it off in the attic unless it's just boiling hot. But it's not too bad right now. We're supposed to have a record high tomorrow though, I think. And I went ahead and took the wire up there and ran it and stapled it off and did all that stuff today. So tomorrow all I got to do is go up in there and hook everything up. Then I got to install a toilet and then fix a sink. It's got a leak under it. I think that's the original problem that flooded the place but the water's been turned off. So I think it just needs new supply lines. That's what I'm hoping to get done tomorrow. But I don't think I'll get the door and the shower door done tomorrow because I think the door's getting delivered tomorrow, but it probably won't be till the end of the day. And then the shower door's not there yet. So everything else but those two things, hopefully I'll get done tomorrow. Anyone else feel like they could use a nap today? Yeah, I've been real bad. Like in the last, I think it's because I was coming out here and working a lot, or coming out here and then filming videos. Whenever I was a little bit slower, I'd just come out here, so I wouldn't go somewhere in the morning. I might go somewhere in the afternoon and do something like a service call or something. But I always wake up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and usually I don't go back to sleep. But because since I wasn't getting up to go get my truck and like be somewhere at like 7 or 7:30 or something like that, and I was just going to come out here and work, there was a bunch of times where I started going back to sleep at like 6 or something, and then getting up at 7 or 7:30, and then I just feel like garbage all day, and it's hard for me to get myself out of that habit of not wanting to just stay awake. So now every day, like at 6 or 6:30 or 7, after I am up and everything, I start getting tired again. What's your favorite driver bits in precision size? Phillips 000, 0001, Posy PZ1, ratcheting driver handle and bits in standard Phillips slotted. As far as for the main part and precision in my work, I mostly just use either it's the Phillips like 0 or 1, but most of the time it's all slotted stuff for me. It's either slotted or some kind of little small hex in the stuff that I work with most of the time. And then on the standard bits, I use the Phillips 2 more than anything else, and then also the slotted, probably the 3/16 more than the 1/4 inch. Depends on like if you're looking at the Vera or the Vera size, it's the 5.5 and not the, what is the other one? The next one up 6 or something like that. The 5.5 in the Vera is what I use the most. Yeah, like here's a 6. 6 is so like 1/4 inch and 6 I use, but I seems like I use 3/16 or that 5.5 in the Vera more often. But I actually probably carry the quarter. I carry a 1/4 inch in a Phillips 2. That's what I carry in my pouch. But most of the stuff I work on, the 1/4 inch will work, but the 3/16 might would be better type of thing. I was in a school principal office today, and he has a cot with a pillow and blanket. Did you say which new Veto bag you're going to get yet? Right now, none. I'm going to buy a meter pouch and a Evo pouch whenever they're available. And it just depends on how the spring promo, if it's still going on and there's a, let's say MCT Evo, or because the MCT Evo, I'm a little bit interested in that front pocket. Like it's different than these other ones. And I might would get it and then sell like my blackout or something to somebody just so that I've got the Evo option since I'm going to buy a pouch and a meter bag. I don't really care to get the Evo bag, but if I can still get the CBLD for free, then that makes it a little bit of a deal. And that makes me not feel so bad about getting one. But I mean, I've got the meter pouches on the side of my MCTP already. It's just they don't come on and off. So anyone ever done a vertical drop with drop tile for a bulkhead? Seems like you have to custom cut T brackets to size and rivet them in. You talking about a drop ceiling T gig, like have it ended and have the tile stuck out there? Is that what you're talking about? I don't ever like doing that, but it's very hard. I mean, you have to put stuff in to hold the tile, or else people knock them out like crazy. I always usually end up talking the customer, and of course, that's the faster way is to do what you just said, if that's what you're talking about. But I prefer just building like a wall that looks like a header, and then tying my stuff into it. But that takes longer, depending upon what they want to use for finished material on that little header type wall. I feel worse after a daytime nap. Yeah, if I sleep any extra during the day, I don't feel better. I may not always feel worse, but I don't feel better. Tiles would have to be fit snug if you don't rivet them in. Yeah, you usually got to go in there and put them in, and they sell little clips that you can snap over top of the grid that pushes against the tile, and then you have to probably, even with those, you still need to run a screw through them after you get them pushed in because they can kind of still pop back out. Drop tile ceiling with lower bulkhead of ductwork. Yeah, you basically on that, like on the outside corner, you can do it a couple of different ways, but like, of course, you'd have wall mode going over to your wall, or if it's down the middle or something, you wouldn't. But if you've got wall mode on this side, and then you take wall mode over here on this other side, and then you'd basically rivet the wall mode to your cross tees this way, and then also a cross tee going up. And then you put tiles, and then you have another piece of wall mode at the top of that, kind of like two L's sandwiching. You rivet that into your other ceiling. I don't have. I should have. I probably have some little. I could show you, but I don't remember what I did with the extra. Oh, it's hard for me to get to. It's over on that other side. I got my little extra pieces of wall mode over there. I feel like tiles fit tighter than they did years back. That's because you got people who are putting ceilings in that don't put them in the same way as they did a few years back. If the ceiling's not square, it's a fight. I go in ceilings all the time. You should be able to take one finger and press all them ceiling tiles up and down if you install the ceiling grid right. It's either that the ceiling grid's out of square, so then every place where the tile goes in, because the ceiling tile's square, like you can't change that unless you cut it, type of thing. But if the ceiling tile, if the ceiling grid's just out very little, then you no longer have squares to put your ceiling tile in. So then two corners are going to be pressing hard every time you stick it in and out. That's usually what the cause is. But then the other cause is people tie their wires and have the bottom wire like huge, and then it's just sitting there catching on the edge of the tile too. So it's usually one of those two things is what's making the ceiling tiles fit tight. You can cut a ceiling tile round. Yeah, you can cut it to fit an unsquare hole, but most people don't. They like if they get their ceiling out of square, they just shove them down in there because they'll go down in there. It's the getting them back out is not fun. But like I said, usually crappy up and down on a ceiling tile is a bad ceiling grid install. Or something has happened to the building where if the might not be the ceiling installer, it could be the framer. And like if the walls aren't braced off well, especially like on a commercial building where you just got partition walls that go up, and usually it's metal studs with kickers and all that kind of stuff. If stuff's not kicked off and well supported and those walls start moving like even just a little bit, it's going to pull that whole entire grid one way or the other, and then that's going to push it out of square. I need to read every comment so you don't miss anything. Never did a drop ceiling. Seems like it'd be a pain in the behind. Oh, I love them. Like I've always said, I think I said it while I was doing the grid ceiling video, but I think I cut that part out, or it's a part where I sped it up because I was just making the video not so long. But if I had like, if I could just, if I did one thing, if they said, what's one thing that you do all the time, it would be that, just because it's such a drastic, it's fast. Like once you get good at it, it's really fast. And then it's one of those, because what I'm always going for when in my work is I want that after I'm done, what's the difference between what it was when I started to what it is now? That's that, drug that you're after, is that feeling that you get. And it's like crazy difference a room is like with no ceiling tiles, no grid, no nothing. And then you put that in and get the lights in and all that kind of stuff. And it's a pretty fast turnaround because it's pretty much finished when you're done. It's not like you're waiting for a painter or drywall finisher or any of that kind of stuff. It's done. Trapezoids are bad for doors, windows, tile, ceiling tile. Yeah, anything that's already supposed to be a rectangle or a square, and if you're putting it into a non-rectangle square hole, it doesn't work out too good. What's up, CE Tool Den? I tell you, CE Tool Den's garage area, him and Clint Cole, I don't know which one's winning. Clint doesn't make videos. If he made videos, it'd be like Clint Cole Tool Den. The biggest thing ceiling tile wise I deal with is diffusers, so people working don't freeze or get too hot. The worst thing for a ceiling grid installer is you usually have to put your grid in before the other trades come in, like the HVAC guys. They usually do some work and then they come back and do their finished work, putting in whatever, whether it's lights, diffusers, and man, they beat the fire out of your grid. They don't care. But you got to make sure you charge them, and then they don't. I always have it in all my quotes. Any grid damage is this much to replace. And if it's a main T, I throw some crazy number on a main T. Be like, to replace a main T that's damaged is $1,000. Because they get up in there and just start. It's like it's a 2x2 hole. I don't know how you can get up in there and not pay attention enough to just beat stuff to death. Nope, my top shut. I still got to do the hack where I can, these drawers are already kind of open, so they're still opening, but I got to do that deal where you get in there and cut out the little bars so that you can open your drawers with this lid shut. Yeah, I got a few tools in today to make some videos for, and I got some more coming. But I'm running out of time on my working and all that's getting in my way of making videos. Ballard Bates, what's the best big box store? So for tools, for me, it's pretty much Home Depot, but I do go to Lowe's a little bit more now for Klein. I used to pretty much only go to Home Depot for tools. For supplies, it's pretty hard to beat the amount of stuff that Menards has. Like, it's crazy how much options they have for stuff. And there's pluses and minuses to their checkout procedure, and you can do it a couple different ways to make it better. But like if you're going to buy bulk stuff, it's nice, and then it's not nice because you got to go in the store, walk to the back, pay, go up, or walk to the back, order, go up to the front, pay, and then drive around to the back. But it's nice because you can just drive up and load your stuff up instead of loading on a cart, going outside, loading it off the cart into your truck. Now you can, instead of going back to the back and paying and coming up or getting an order and then coming up front and paying, you can just order it online and do pickup, and then that sends you an email with a barcode that you can just drive back straight to the back and scan it and go get your stuff and leave. Like, so that was, if you really want to do that, you can skip that process. So that makes that better. But I'm not a big fan of, like, Menards does have some good like hand tools and stuff, like different brands, but I don't care for many of their power tool brands. It's not that I don't like them, it's just not what I use. But it's just, it is absolutely crazy how many more options of things Menards has compared to my Home Depot and Lowe's as far as materials. It's not even close. Who's worse for tearing up other trades' work, Sparkies, plumbers, or something else? It's probably electricians. In the commercial setting, it might be different in residential. And HVAC guys will, but most of the time, if they tear up something, it's usually not really their fault. I mean, not most of the time, but because sometimes you'll have a GC that's really pushing for something and they've got a lull in something because they're waiting on something, and they're like, well, go ahead and put the grid up. And you're like, well, they don't have, this stuff up there yet. They're going to need to get, some of their duct work needs to be up there, like, and tied off or do whatever, so they don't have to get it through these holes and all that kind of stuff. And then you'll have that guy be like, nope, just put it up there. They'll just have to deal with it. And it's like, that's not on the HVAC guys, and to some extent, that's on the GC. But the crazy thing to me is the after the fact. So even if it's like a service call on the drop ceiling tiles, you'd be amazed at how many tradespeople come in with his dirty hands. Because I was a stickler about it. Like at the campus I work for, if I had somebody come in and do work, I'd tell them up front, I'd be like, I I want it in your quote that if you tear up, you're going to replace dirty ceiling tiles, and you're going to you pay me to replace, and it wasn't, I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to replace ceiling tiles, and I'm going to replace ceiling grid that you damage at this cost. And said, it's going to be in there. So y'all come over here with your dirty hands and start touching stuff and doing whatever. And then I got to go change, because it never fails. It's always the reveal edge tile, which takes you a lot longer to like replace those. Because you got to get up there and scribe them and do a bunch of stuff. They'd be sitting there just dirty hands all over them, beating them to death. It's like, what good does it do for you to come in and put something new in the ceiling and then all the ceiling tiles around it look like garbage now? It's like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Electricians are king of the trade. How dare you? But yes, a mess is left behind just to prove we were there. I've seen plumbers just destroy walls and floor joists with pipes. Yeah, plumbers like a sawzall. They love a sawzall. Yeah, because if somebody, and again, it's one of those where a lot of people don't understand the parts of it. Where if you do mess up something, how much work is involved in fixing that. So like, I finally got these one guys to understand. I'm like, you can mess up a 2 foot cross tee and a 4 foot cross tee. That's bad enough. It's whatever, but those are pretty easy to pop out and replace. But if you mess up that main tee, so if like you're doing some work next to a main tee that everything ties into, that's tied off to the ceiling, everything snapped into it, the only way to replace that is to take out everything that is connected to that tee. So every single cross tee, every single wire that's hanging in the ceiling. So you're talking about basically redoing the whole ceiling just to replace that tee just because you decided you wanted to scoot over and nudge that one a little bit, you know. So that's why I'm always like, you're going to be right next to this one right here. It's like, tear up this one over here if you want to. Like if something happens and you got to shift your weight real crazy or something, like shift it that way, because this over here, that's a big deal. That's going to take me multiple hours, you know, to change that out, because it takes longer to replace one than it does just whenever you can install it really fast, but to go and unsnap all those things, that's a big deal. I feel like reassemble that. Working in a steel mill and fixing lights in offices. Luckily, it's a steel mill. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, I figured a bunch of y'all be on here saying what Veto bags y'all ordered. I talked to Tools with Tim, said that he kept wanting to order some bags that were out of stock. Like most of the people I knew that was going to order one, they're all wanting to order stuff that's not in stock yet. Good things, lights have gotten lighter, and LED. Oh, the flat panel LEDs have been the best thing ever for like drop ceilings. So much thinner and lighter, fits in the space. Like, because a lot of times for the old style lights, you had to have like at least like 6, 8 inches. Like 8 inches was minimum, really, as far as to be able to get it up in there, get it turned and dropped and all that kind of stuff. But now them flat panel LEDs, you can get them in there. So like, especially if you're swapping one out, like it goes in super easy. Mm, mm, mm. I don't think I got anything else that I was going to show. Put me up a fly trap out here in the middle of the garage. I don't know if that's hanging up where you can see it or not. No. I'm hoping I can get rid of, like, every now and then, like I'll get a fly in here and it's like it would drive me crazy during filming. But they're not bad yet. I know the lizards have been a lot less in here since I did the new exterior on the garage. Like I used to have them in here like crazy, which it might be not the time of year for them, because they can still get in around the garage. I mean, they can get in anywhere. Them things are crazier than mice as far as getting in places. And then everywhere, I thought the stink bugs were all gone, but as I've been taking like the old metal off this building on the outside, as I've been doing stuff, that they've been hiding out back in there. I'm excited for the Milwaukee pencil. Yeah, I haven't seen one of them in yet, or the CE Tool Den had a video on the new pliers wrench and the like a pair of Cobra type pliers or whatever. My Home Depot hadn't put any of that stuff out. Did Klein make any over the glasses safeties? Not really. These aren't really made for that. Like they kind of will go, but not really. Depends on how big your glasses are, probably. But they're not made for it though. I wouldn't. It's not comfortable enough, and then they don't go back far enough to really be like side shields. I wouldn't consider doing that. I was just seeing if they would. Stink bugs are officially back out this week where I live. Yeah, I took off the metal on the wall behind me whenever I was finishing out that one, and they were like crazy all up in that stuff. Because I hadn't seen, we went through a spell of stink bugs, and then after they kind of, I guess, went into hibernation mode or something, then the ladybugs came out like crazy. We had ladybugs real bad. CE Tool Den said they've got some you can put over prescription glasses. I'm surprised they didn't send me some if they got them, because whenever the guy I talked to asked me if I'd be interested in checking out safety glasses, I said you could send me some if you want, but I don't normally wear them because I have to wear my glasses and I can't see without them. Glad they sent you 120 plus. I didn't even these just showed up, which that's what happens a lot of times with the client is they just show up. Like I said, they're by far my favorite people as far as the working with them. Ain't even close. Ballard Bates, what was my first job? I was a cart boy at a golf course whenever I was 14. And then after that, I worked at a little gas station on a lake here in the county that I live in that did everything. Like we store boat shed rentals. I counted night crawlers and crickets and leeches and minnows and mealworms. And I didn't only just count them for the people who were buying them at our store. We actually counted them and like boxed them up by the dozen and sold them to other stores in the area that were like on different parts of the lake. And then I also made pizzas and sandwiches and what else we make there. And then I sold guns there, rented movies. If they could make a nickel off anything, they had it in there. Lottery tickets, all that kind of stuff. But it was basically like your on the lake gas station type thing. So every holiday was like crazy. Every holiday weekend was always crazy. I have a question for you about House of Tools. I ordered one of the new Knipex pliers after New Year, still hasn't shipped. So if it's, I ordered a pair of like forged wire strippers when they first came out. I don't remember. I think it was like whenever they actually just first came out. I ordered them through them because they were the first people. So I've always tried to make myself be careful whenever I order from them. If it ever says extended handling time may be required or something like on the web page where you're looking at it, that means they don't have it yet, and they're going to ship it to you. So it's basically like pre-order is what it is, and they don't. It's just worded different than what it is like on Acme Tools or something like that. So if it just depends on if it's something that's like, but I don't know if there's any. Is it new that it's not even out like at other places yet? Whatever you got. They normally email you back pretty fast, like if you email them, because that's the only time I've ever had like a really long shipping. I was like, man, it seems like I should have got them by now. So I emailed them and asked them. They said, well, we're still waiting for them to come in. But that's what that extended handling time may be required. I think that's how it's worded. That's what that basically means. Did you get fired for spending too much time around the beer cart girl? Now we had some that were gas and some that were battery. I'd have to, hook them up on the charger, fill them up with gas, clean them. And then at the end of the day, I'd have to drive around and get all the flags, all that kind of stuff. But it was close enough to where I lived. It still wasn't a close walk, but it was like I could walk to it. And like I said, I was 14, so I couldn't drive to work. So I'd just walk there. I did that, and I cut, like, went around the neighborhoods cutting grass and doing all that kind of stuff. Best place to get vessel and Knipex. If it's, I buy most of my stuff like that on Amazon just because it's easier. Like, and I know the shipping's free and I get it fairly fast. If it's in stock, you know, I get mine on Amazon, and I haven't got anything that's fake yet. But I have ordered from House of Tools. I've also ordered from KC Tool a few times. I've ordered from Acme like once or twice. I've ordered from Ohio Power Tool like once, I think. I don't remember what it was I bought. What else? Jersey Discount Tool a couple times, but not most of the time. HomeDepot.com or Amazon and Lowe's are the main three, but usually Home Depot and Amazon. Golf carts are impressively durable. eBay, yeah, I've got a few off eBay. Like the vessel, like these vessels that are the colors, you pretty much have to get them on eBay for the most part. They're pretty hard to find anywhere else. Bit just fell out. That's a little 1-incher. Acme can take forever, but at least they communicate better. Yeah, I've only ordered a few things on Acme that I've had to, like, it's always usually been an order that was like a bigger tool, so I got the free shipping. But there's been a few times where I wanted something that was House of Tools had it, and it said extended handling time, and then Acme Tools, it was in stock, and I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and just go get it on Acme and pay shipping because by the time you do it, it's about the same price usually most of the time. It might be a little bit cheaper at House of Tools minus the shipping, because it's free shipping, but it's pretty close. It's just a couple different dollars with the Acme plus the shipping. So I went ahead and got it on Acme, but it's been very few times. You ordered the ES version of the Cobras. Yeah, I would think those would be, unless they also, I don't know if they're out of stock like everywhere else, but I mean, I would think those were in stock. You'd think. I'd for sure email them. and be like, "What's up?" Because something might have just happened, unless those are sold out other places. But most of the time at House of Tools, mine's been pretty. If it, like I said, if it didn't say extended handling time, it's usually I get it. It might not be as fast as Amazon like Prime, but it's like usually within a week. Acme saved me big money on Veto bags. Yeah, last year I bought that MCT or Tech Pack MC, whatever it is. Yeah, I bought that and got the SPMC for free, but I saved like almost like $60 or something on that bag, and still got the SPMC for free. Reminds me, I need to put that up. I like the Klein heated vest. I like the size of the battery packs, which I know you can buy a thing for Milwaukee and change it over like to a power bank, or I think Milwaukee even has some slim batteries now. But I definitely like because I've got M12 heated hoodies and I use the M12 batteries, and that's the one thing I don't like about it is that battery is like really bulky to fit in that pocket. But as far as the way they work, it's pretty similar. But I do actually, I've never been like a vest person. Like I don't even know if I ever owned a vest like that, like a little puffer type vest or any of that kind of stuff. But I do like that better than a hoodie because I can wear that under just a regular hoodie. And then if I get hot, I can take the hoodie off and still have that on. And it's basically like a different layer instead of outside layer being the heated thing. And I think it actually heats better because it's like putting your vest with the heat inside of a hoodie. I think that holds all that heat in a little bit better than wearing a hoodie that has the heat stuff in it. The item I just got from House of Tools was a Christmas gift for my friend. Luckily, I was able to order it and get it on Amazon in time for Christmas. Yeah, I agree. See you till then. Veto's killing me. They started spring promotion, but all the new stuff isn't available until May. Yeah, the MCT Evo has like a pouch on the front, like that looks like it's a decent sized pouch, uh, compared to like the blackout and the other ones. That's probably the main bag. Like the MCT bag in different variations is probably again, I prefer even all the smaller bags better. Like I said, if any of those SPLDs, SBS or SPXXL, any of that kind of stuff, if that was in the tier one deal, and because I don't want an MB2B, I don't need one of them. I'm not gonna buy. But if I can buy a bag, because I might like the CBLD, I don't know. And if that's the case, I could sell any of that other stuff. Um, but I don't know that, so I want to kind of get a bag that I would use in case I sell the CBLD type of thing to make it be a better deal. But none of those are in the tier one, so get in the car the wrong way and you feel that battery punch all day. Mm-hmm. I normally run my Milwaukee hoodie on M18 and a slim battery. Yeah, I knew they had adapters and all that kind of stuff that works for, I think they, for the M18 batteries, but I think they also have like a slim profile that's kind of like the shape of the Klein, I think. Like that USB, whatever that one stuff is, Milwaukee has USB, whatever they call it. I don't know. I don't have any of that stuff either. Because back whenever the flashlights were coming out with that other rechargeable Milwaukee batteries, again, I think they just called them USB, I guess. But I bought some of them. Like I bought the one that was a little foldable light, and I also had a pen light or something that took those batteries. But at the time, I wasn't a big rechargeable battery and my flashlight fan at all. And I was just like, I really don't want to have to keep up with these batteries and keep them charged. And of course, now I got 5,000 rechargeable battery flashlights that I bring in here and charge all the time. But how come I never hear y'all discuss thermal base layers? Yeah, see, for me, some way I'm kind of in that climate, which that's more the northern, you definitely need something up there. The times I've been up there and it's been cold, but I'm usually good. And again, I don't work outside. If I worked outside, it'd be different. And I mean, I do occasionally, like I'll go outside to look at something or maybe work on something that is outside temporarily for something that's not working inside type of thing. But for the most part, I get by with a hooded sweatshirt, and I always want to wear something I can take off because I always go in and out. And then if I'm inside somebody's house and it's cold outside, they obviously usually have the heat on, and normally it's like burning up. And if you're wearing the kind of clothes to be warm outside, you're just sweating to death. And I can't stand working when I'm hot like that. Like it drives me crazy. You get frustrated, start doing stuff you shouldn't do because you just want to get out of there because you're burning up. Yeah, I even bought that Milwaukee vest on clearance. It's not a powered vest, but just one of their vests, and I've been wearing that a lot because I don't need the heated vest. Actually, the Klein one's like sharp looking too. Like it looks like it even looks nice. Like I like the way it looks, like to wear out or whatever. The Milwaukee's more just puffer look to it. It don't look bad, but the Klein's got more like of the. I guess the Klein one maybe looks more like the Axis type jacket of Milwaukee's type of thing. But the Milwaukee one I've got is just more of that bubble stuff all over the whole entire vest. And but I've been wearing that a lot under shirts and stuff, like under the hoodies and under that like the gray shirt jacket thing I got from Menards that I've wore out here a few times. I've been wearing that vest under that whenever it's been cold, and that's been working out. Mm, 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 mm. I got the black denim type Milwaukee vest. I like it. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever wore a vest before I got the Climb one. Like I don't know why it never did even cross my mind. Like I'm always been a hoodie person. Like I wear and I prefer the hoodies to work in at zip, but that way again they're easier to take off instead of me having to pull something over my head and everything else like to take it off. So I've always preferred to wear like a hoodie as a jacket basically because I've got a couple heavy jackets, but I can probably count on one hand the times that I've worn them because it's basically I have to know I'm going to be outside for a long time, so I'm gonna wear this. And but I've always been a hoodie person, but now the vest thing, I like that with a hoodie in combination is pretty nice. especially when the shop is freezing. I have to wear layers down there. Man, it used to get this winter's been pretty nice out here at that mini split. Like it used to be. I got to where I could see my breath. And like I said, working's not a big deal. Like, cause I'm just in and out, like loading, and I'm moving, I'm loading stuff, unloading stuff, doing whatever. But sitting out here and messing around with tools, and then having a camera just sitting there in a seat doing stuff and stuff, man, it's 10 degrees in here. You can see your breath. It's pretty bad. Michael said I can't work in a jacket outside either. I wear a hoodie and Carhartt vest. Yeah, usually if I'm going to be stuck outside for a long time and it's super cold, like I've got insulated bibs that I've had forever. Like I got tons of pairs of Carhartt insulated bibs because I used to wear them as basically my uniform for probably 5-6 years. Like I wore them every single day. I have unlined ones and lined ones, and so I've got tons of pairs of those in a crate, like a big crate inside the house. So I'll wear those as like my pants, and then I'll still wear just a hoodie or something. Cause I can't, I don't like being able to not move. Like it's the same way with gloves. Like I can't really wear thick gloves and work. Like I don't like it. Like I have to be able to feel whatever it is, and I have to be able to move. Like so, I'd rather be cold and be able to feel what it is and be able to move than it to be out there and warm and get frustrated because I can't really work. Time for a Klein Vest fashion show. It's in the house. I don't have it out here. I mean, I can run and go get it real fast. If y'all just know that I'm not going to be here for 2 minutes. I saw my mic went out while I was in the house, like the light color changed. So y'all let me know if you can hear me. I'm on my way back, but it just changed back to green. Yeah, so the Klein vest is more like not a puffy, like, you know what I'm talking about, like a puffy vest, like looks like the little bubbles or whatever. That's what my Milwaukee one looks like, but it's not real puffy though. Like that's why I don't mind it, but it's more like North Face type of jackets, what I call them. And then the inside's it's not super thick, so it's not like it's a crazy warm vest when you're if you're just wearing it without the power on. But like I said, I wear this and then I put like a hoodie or something over it. But it looks nice. It's more like a one of those nicer looking vest things instead of like a puffer. And then the batteries are like slimmer. I probably need to charge this one. Yeah, I do. I do. And you can use this one set up to be a USB-A out and a USB-C in. Like they didn't do a C out. It's a C in. It says C in and C out, and it's got a DC out, which is what you plug into. So does the mic stay connected? It did until I got all the way to my house. I can see the green light. And then whenever I walked in the door, it changed to a blue light. So I think it kind of cut out whenever I basically went inside another building. But I mean, it must reach pretty far though to go through this building all the way to my house though. Homer J lives in Minnesota, 2 Acme tool stores. That'd be pretty cool to be able to go to a store. What's up, Joseph Muhammad? Wonder what cells they use. I think it said. I don't think it says it on here. Let me see. I don't remember if I read it. I think it might. I think it might say it if you look it up on the listing because I want to say I saw it somewhere. It's a 7,000 milliamp hour battery pack, but that's all it really says. Does take a it does take a little while to charge the battery up though. Like it's definitely an overnight type thing. It takes if it's completely dead, it takes a little while for it to charge. You're gonna wait for May to get the new stuff from Veto. If it's that would be the only thing I would buy would be probably the MCT Evo out of the tier 1 bags that are on there. That's probably about the only one I would buy. And I would only really I don't need it. But it's one of those that if I can get the other bag and if I end up selling one of them, I get a better deal on it type of thing. That's really the main reason why I buy a bag usually at spring promo. Like I don't need it, but if I like the Evo better, and especially since I am going to buy an Evo pouch, like a pouch and a meter pouch, no matter what, I'm going to buy those, even if I don't buy a bag. Then I'll probably sell my blackout bag and keep the Evo bag. And then that way, if I want to run it with those pouches later, I can. My MCTP, I probably won't ever sell it. I would sell the blackout up there before I sell this, just because I really like it, like the look and everything. And those pouches on the side are pretty nice. But I haven't sold, like, I'm still keeping that one because I do actually like the footprint of the bag a little better without the pouches, but I do like having the pouches on the side, which y'all might not even can see the MCTP, I guess, but like that takes up more room, obviously, than that does. So sometimes I would want to go back to one that didn't have the pouches on the side just for the footprint, and it's a little bit lighter because you don't put as much stuff in it. So that's why I won't sell that one until I have another bag that's kind of like it. I don't do vest, LOL. I didn't until I got this one, and I would have never bought one until I got this one. And then now I bought the Milwaukee one, not the heated vest, but just a Milwaukee vest. I've gotten to where I kind of like like I said, I kind of like it as a layer instead of wearing, it's like, I never liked wearing a thick jacket, but I don't mind wearing a vest and a hoodie. Like to me, it's a different feel. Like, cause in my arms, you still just have the one layer of arms instead of a thick jacket's like thick everywhere. So it's almost like you're getting all that extra thickness here, but I still have all the movement in my arms. So I like a vest and a hoodie as a combo better than like a extra thick jacket. House looked good. Yeah, I actually watched that yesterday, Ray. Did look good. Your house. The house you were working on, not your house, but the house you're working on. Yeah, I watched yours yesterday and then I just watched the handyman experience working on a sink clog right before I came out here. My tech pack's been sitting for years at this point. Yeah, I've got my Tech Pack MC still sitting up there. I haven't even put a tool in it, but I bought it because Acme had the deal on it last year, and my buddy was wanting an SPMC. I had showed him mine, the guy I work with, and he's like, "Oh, I'd like to get one of those." So I had been wanting to get a Tech Pack, and it was on sale. So I was like, "Well, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this, and I'm gonna give my buddy that SPMC whenever I get it in." So I gave him an SPMC, uh, and then I put it on like Facebook Marketplace. If somebody ever buys it, they buy it. But if they don't, then it just sits there. I'm not gonna like take a hit on it or anything. I mean, I still got it on there for a decent deal because I got a good deal on it. But I don't care if I sell it. But if somebody wants to buy it, I'll sell it. The new TPXXL Evo has backpack straps. That's a cool addition. Yeah, the Tech Pack MC, like I don't know anybody personally that's got a Tech Pack, like because there's not a lot of Veto people around me. Like there's just not that many people that I run into that have them. But getting that Tech Pack MC, I'm just like, man, I can't imagine having a Tech Pack. I don't know how much bigger it is, but it's as big as that's as big as I'd for sure want to go. I don't, and it's even too big for me. The Tech Pack MC is a little bit too big for me. Like this is flirting with being too big. But I only carry like I don't carry this all day every day. Like this is just a bag with all my, you know, diagnostic stuff in it that I only take in for the jobs where I'm going to need that stuff. Like I don't take it with me like into every house or anything like that. So I don't mind packing like that occasionally, but I wouldn't want to pack that even every day all day. People around you use rusty duffel bags. A lot of weird stuff a lot of times, like just thrown stuff thrown all over the place most of the time. I stepped away from my screen. Yes, I work near the Plymouth Acme store. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, I can't. Justin said every job is tool specific. Usually, you don't need more than what fits in a tool pouch or a smaller bag. Yeah, I can't tell you how many jobs I do with my MP2X. Like it's probably my most used Veto thing, like by far, is my MP2X. Because usually it's as soon as I open my truck door, my MP2X is right there clipped onto the side of my Klein drawers, and then my SPMC sitting right there. And usually I just sit there and debate, and I'm like, I can do it with my MP2X, and I just grab it and throw it on my side instead of carrying a bag. Ray's gonna reload his Veto backpack for my bring home tools. Moving the big pack out's getting old. Yeah, especially like if you work jobs where you can't leave stuff and feel good about it. Like sometimes you can leave stuff, but you still don't because you don't feel good about leaving your stuff. Like there's certain things I don't leave anytime. Like I'll like if I'm gonna work at a place for 2 or 3 days, I'll leave like a vacuum, like a corded shop vac, and maybe some of my old like 6 foot ladders and stuff like that. But like my little Sure Step ladder, my even like my any battery power tool, like I take it out every day. I don't leave anything like that there. But I'll leave like random stuff that is easily replaceable that isn't the end of the world and that stuff most people aren't going to take anyways if they wanted to. And that's even if I'm the only person that's even going to be working in there just because I don't know who all has a key to that place. And because again, I work a lot in commercial stuff. And sometimes, you never know what worker might come in overnight or early in the morning and be like, oh, look at all this stuff. And it's more so I don't want to be out. It's the stuff that I wouldn't want to be out of, even if I had to buy it again or order another one. Like, I just don't want to have to replace certain things. I'm a first year electrical apprentice. Would be good. Would it be good to spend the money and get a Veto? I hear they have a student discount program. Yeah, if they've got any kind of discount program, and especially if I don't know if they let you use it in conjunction with the spring promotion. But anytime if you want to buy one, now's the time to buy one. And maybe if you're starting out and you've got a buddy that also wants a Veto bag, and if you can, if one of you would want that CBLD and one of you wants something else, and you go in and kind of figure out what one normally costs versus the other and kind of split the difference, it's a good time to, do that too. But I haven't liked any other tool bag besides Veto since I bought them. The Velocity bag I have is nice, but it's just set up a little different. I still haven't really tried it out 100% yet, but also haven't had time to either. Like, I don't have time to just swap around and change it right now. But it's also a little bit smaller than, like, I couldn't fit all this in that because it's a smaller bag. It would have to be like I'd change my SPMC probably over to that bag type of thing. I leave nothing overnight on any job. I've been hit too many times. Yeah, I don't know. Some way I know the song. I didn't know who sung it, but I knew the song. That's why I put it. That is why I put it on there, though. I have OCD and always overpack when going to jobs. I'm cursed and suffer the consequences of all that weight. Well, it's a little bit after 8. I guess I'm gonna go inside. I think I've got everything. I was sitting here thinking the last few minutes if I've got everything I need for tomorrow loaded. I loaded stuff up before this. I'm trying to think if I've missed anything. I got my 10-inch miter saw with my stand in my truck for cutting the base because it's big base. And then I'll go ahead and cut anything else I got. I got some quarter round and base to put in. I've got my supply lines and all my stuff for a toilet install and the fixing under the sink. I've got all the stuff, my electrical boxes for the lights. I think that's all I'll be doing tomorrow because the rest of the stuff's not there. I've got my door box in there to mortise all that stuff out if it so happens to come in early, but if you have a golf cart in your But I'm gonna get off here. We'll see y'all Saturday. It's Beers 1892 on the guest of trade. He's got a vessel bag, a cry pop. I don't know if that's how you say it. Cry pop bag, and then like 15 million pouches. Like, he's got pouches galore, like all sorts of different ones. A lot of stuff. He's got a bunch of tools I've never seen before too. Like, it was a pretty interesting, like, set of pictures to go over because he's got a lot of tools that I didn't even know what they were. So maybe you guys will be able to guess what it is he does. But we'll see y'all on the guest of trade. And if Clint, the tool collector, if you're watching and listening in your bed, you have a good night. Sweet dreams, buddy. But we'll see y'all on the next one.